Ukraine is conducting a military operation in the Kursk region. Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Alexander Syrsky, reported how it continues during the Supreme Commander-in-Chief's meeting of the staff. As noted by Volodymyr Zelensky, we have instructed the Minister of Internal Affairs, other government officials, and the Security Service of Ukraine to prepare a humanitarian plan for the area of operation.
Mr. President of Ukraine, Supreme Commander-in-Chief of Ukraine, we are continuing the offensive operation on the territory of the Kursk region. Currently, we control about 1,000 square kilometers of the territory of the Russian Federation. Groupings of troops performing assigned tasks. Battles are actually taking place along the entire front. The situation is under our control.
The European Union supports Ukraine's intention to protect its territorial integrity, including with the help of the operation in the Kursk region of Russia. This was stated today during a briefing in Brussels by the representative of the EU Foreign Policy Service, Nabila Masrali. Also, according to her, the equipment that Ukraine receives from EU member states at the expense of the European Union budget and can use on the territory of Russia is intended for protection against aggression.
We are fully standing behind Ukraine's legitimate exercise of its inherent right for self-defense and efforts to restore its territorial integrity and sovereignty and to push back and fight the illegal aggression by Russia. The President Zelensky himself had the opportunity to explain his intention to defend the Ukrainian territory through the incursion in the Kursk region. As for the military equipment, what I can say is that the member states provide military equipment to Ukraine, for which they can request partial reimbursement through the European Peace Facility, and the equipment is intended to help Ukraine defend itself.
And again about Kursk. Today we have Glenn Grant, a former advisor to Ukraine's Ministry of Defense and the British military, a political and military expert in our studio. We'll talk about the Kursk operation with him. Greetings, Mr. Grant.
Greetings. Thank you very much for asking me.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure to see you in our studio. And my first question will be that what is the purpose of Ukraine's operation in the Kursk region itself? We have heard from General Syrsky yesterday that it is officially a Ukrainian military operation with Ukraine taking control of over 1,000 square kilometers of Russian territory right now.
It's a very good question about what is the purpose. I think we need to go back to before the mission started and just ask ourselves, why was a mission, any mission, necessary? And it's quite clear that Ukraine had lost the initiative and has lost the initiative for some months. And that means that the opposition, the Russia, was allowed to do pretty much whatever it wanted to. It could put its soldiers where it wanted to, it could attack where it wanted to, and it could move its logistics around pretty much where it wanted to. This operation has changed that dramatically. It was needed badly politically, it was needed badly militarily. And we've seen that so far there's been an initial success in that, whether it was intended to do this or not, this operation has completely upset the Russian system, all the way down from Putin down to the troops on the ground. So you could say that if that was the objective, it's achieved that. Now, there are all the advisors around the world and the press are all writing what they think the objectives are. And they range from people saying it's just another opportunity to kill Russians, or we're heading for the nuclear power station, or we're going to capture Kursk itself, or even some sort of suggesting that we're heading towards Moscow. I think that basically it was the reason is simple. Something had to be done, and this was it. And what's next? That's a very good question.
Okay, so most of the people I've heard say they are encouraged by this operation, this attack. Maybe if it was a disjunctive, like disruption operation, to shift the initiative from Russia, because we haven't very tough battles near Pokrovsk right now. Everybody remembers Bakhmut and Avdiivka, the sieges of those towns. And right now, Pokrovsk is under siege too, in a very difficult situation. I've heard that Russians are moving some regiments from Kherson and Zaporizhia and Kharkiv directions to reinforce Kursk. Maybe they are preparing a counteroffensive to push Ukrainian forces back.
Oh, I think they're going to have to do something, because the Russian population is not going to allow its government, its military, and Putin to do nothing. So Russian credibility internally means that they've got to do something, and that means they've got to move people from somewhere else. Now, of course, the danger for Ukraine is that if Ukraine does not continue this in some way, that Russia will get the initiative back again. And we don't want that. So whatever happens now, Ukraine has got to do something else to keep this unbalancing of the Russian system. Now, whether that something else is an attack down in the east of the country, whether it's increasing the attack into Belgorod region and maybe trying to cut off the Russian troops facing Kharkiv, I don't know. And in many ways, I don't think it matters. We just need that something happens that actually maintains this unsettled nature on the Russian side and leaves Ukraine writing the agenda rather than Russia.
Do you think that this initial success, will kind of ease the restrictions of the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, other global partners of Ukraine on the use of long-range weapons? We've already heard that Bundeswehr and the German government allows to use German weapons, as the Ukrainian forces intend to, but we have heard a rejection from the United Kingdom on the use of Storm Shadow missiles as of now, and the US are against the use of ATACMS deep into Russian territory too. Do you think that will influence our partners' decisions?
That's a good question. And it's one I simply don't have an answer for at the moment. I mean, I think that what is clear is that this attack will have embarrassed a lot of people in the capitals who were beginning to write Ukraine off, because they could see the attacks in the west, in the east, and were beginning to believe that okay, we've done all we can, Ukraine is going to lose. Well, this has just made it quite clear that Ukraine is not going to lose, and that there's still a lot more to play for. So I think that there will be some changes in thinking, and hopefully those changes in thinking will lead to maybe a bit more enthusiasm about the support, and a bit more enthusiasm about Ukraine being able to win. Russia has been shown now that it's not the big monster that many people like to think it is. It's weak. And Ukraine needs to keep that weakness open until Western countries come round and realize that this war can be won. It's not just a long-term stalemate.
Thank you. Maybe a final question, or rather, I want to hear some words from you. Do you encourage Ukrainian army to continue these operations? Ukrainian people, you can appeal our viewers and say something. You've been in Ukraine, I mean, in 2014, 2015 as an advisor. What would you like to say to our people right now?
Well, I think the first thing is that this has shown very clearly that Ukraine can win this war. Russia is not the great monster that everybody likes to think it is in the West. It's a winnable war, but still people have got to take it seriously that it's winnable. And that means government's got to take it seriously. We've got to cut this corruption nonsense and got to start focusing things. And I'm afraid that some of the people who've been a little bit reticent about joining the army, they need to join the army now, because now is the time that this thing can be changed. And my last thing, of course, is we mustn't lose the initiative again. We've got the initiative. Now we have to keep doing things that really upset Russia. The more we upset Russia, the more Putin gets difficult and the more things will go wrong. And that's what we need.
Extremely grateful to you, Mr. Grant, for your commentary and for your words. Thank you for being with us. Have a nice day.
Not at all. Thank you very much. And God bless all those who are fighting at the moment in the north. Drive them into the sea.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, have a nice day. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, the Colonel Glenn Grant was in UATV studio. We talked about Kursk and about the initiative that Ukraine has regained after this operation.